You're watching high school football on My TV 30 as we welcome you into Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It's the final week of the regular season. And around here, that means a rivalry renewed. The undefeated Oakland Patriots host the Riverdale Warriors. It's the Battle of the Borough on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. It is great to be with you tonight on My TV 30, a Thursday night to finish out the regular season. That's the former Vanderbilt Commodore Bruno Reagan. I'm Lucas Panzica. We're glad you're here because this one has all the ingredients. Big-time talents, powerhouse programs, a region title on the line. And Bruno, we get good on good. A dominant Oakland defense against an explosive Riverdale offense.
And I know you'll mention it later, Lucas. This is the Oakland defense that has given up only 6 points past halftime in all of their games combined. Now, don't count Riverdale out. They're one of the rarities in Tennessee high school football to have an effective passing attack led by their quarterback, Hampton.
No doubt about it. We can see our breath. That means playoff time is near. The winner of this one could very well be at the top of the region going into the postseason. So let's look at the keys to the game. Riverdale coming in has to sustain drives against this Oakland defense. They can't get behind the chains.
Absolutely. If you have any first down that's negative, whether it be TFLs, sacks, penalties, those are momentum killers, those are drive killers, and at the time of possession swings one way, your offense and defense, they're going to be too overworked from high snap counts. So it's important for this Riverdale offense to sustain their drives.
Meanwhile, as good as Oakland has been on the defensive side of the ball, they haven't seen an offense as explosive as Riverdale's in the passing game. Got to get home and affect the quarterback.
Absolutely, and that comes somewhere in their preparation. You know, you work all week, you have a scout team quarterback, or maybe for Oakland, it could be someone that could start anywhere, but they're in the backfield, and you have to scheme up a way. It could be alignment, it could be defensive backs, it could be pressures. There's a lot of different ways to attack it, but you have to affect Hampton.
Well, there's star players all over the place in this one, and we're going to have time to talk about them. But let's focus on two here for our key players. Couple guys you're going to see on Saturdays pretty soon, starting with Riverdale, the young sophomore Gavin Hampton, a Ravenwood transfer. The offers already rolling in, Bruno, over 2,000 yards, 24 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's got the size, and you mentioned over 2,000 yards. It's a rarity to see in high school football in Tennessee, especially at this level, 6A, Oakland, the big games, right? So many teams are run first, and don't count Riverdale's run game out, right? But they set it up with their pass game too, okay? So they have that deep ball threat, and Hampton's going to be the key if they want to dethrone this undefeated Oakland Patriots team.
And for Oakland, Craig Tutt, one of the best safety prospects in the country, an Ole Miss commitment. He'll affect the game in all three phases.
Absolutely, and he kind of gets his picking. He can play on the defensive line from an outside end. He can play an outside linebacker position on the second level. He could even be a nickel or bigger type safety. So he's a guy that really just gets to pick and choose where he's at all over the field. I think that's smart from the Oakland defense. Let their best players shine wherever he feels best.
Kickoff is around the corner. We can't wait to get to it to finish out the regular season in a pivotal matchup. But first, let's bring in the third member of our team, Sammy Kincaid, for an injury update.
Hey guys, for the Bart Durham injury update, let's start out on the Riverdale side of the ball. Out tonight will be left tackle LeBrian Shelbourne. He is out with the torn ACL. And flipping over to the Oakland side of the ball, it was a game time decision, and unfortunately for the Patriots, out tonight will be tight end Michael Brown. He is a two-way starter for the Patriots, so that is a big loss for them tonight in tonight's matchup. That's your Bart Durham injury update. Whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have coin toss, kickoff. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this.
Murfreesboro, Tennessee, a high school football hotbed, largely because of what these two programs have done. Oakland hosts Riverdale. It's the Battle of the Borough. The championship decided for Region 3 6A. But before kickoff, let's go down to the field for the Tennessee Army National Guard coin toss. Keith Dyer, our white hat tonight. Riverdale wins the toss. They defer to the second half, and the Oakland Patriots will get the football first to kick us off in this regular season finale. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you in the booth. Sammy Kincaid down on the sideline. There have been many absolute classics between these two teams. Riverdale leads the all-time series 33-26, but Oakland has won the last three, Bruno, and the stakes couldn't be higher.
Oakland with all the pressure on them, but that's exactly where they want to be. But with my TV 30 here in town, anything can happen.
Miles Weaver kicks us off, and we are underway in the final week of the regular season. And taking it out and up the middle, breaking free across midfield, and running across the 20 is the Oakland Patriot Giovanni Malone, kicking off this game with a 94-yard return. His second kickoff return for a touchdown all season. And the Oakland Patriots said, what pressure? 6-0, seconds in.
Man, if you're Oakland, if you're on the Oakland sideline, staff, personnel, player, that has to just be a gut punch. Absolutely. You're already on Oakland's own turf, and the light show perfectly encapsulates how electric that was of a return from Malone. Couldn't ask for a better start.
Giovanni Malone, one of the many explosive playmakers on this Oakland roster. And he has his team ahead 7-0 with the extra point good from Jose Hernandez. And you couldn't have scripted a better start for this Oakland special teams unit. So we won't even get a chance to see the Oakland offense quite yet, as Malone was able to find some space through midfield, almost untouched on his way to the house.
Well, a successful turn, it's like a knife. You want to cut through the defense. You can't just move laterally all the time. Notice how Malone stayed vertical the entire time throughout his progression. It's just such an athletic play.
Only a sophomore, Giovanni Malone, and getting tons of playing time despite being surrounded by multiple blue-chip prospects. And the Oakland Patriots are glad to have him. And that is the 5th special teams touchdown on a return for the Patriots this season. So just like that, they flipped the script, and Riverdale will receive a kickoff 15 seconds in. Hernandez will tee it up. Zayden Jones will field it inside his own 5, drops the football. Jones able to recover, looking for room on the left side. A trailing tackle gets him down. It is Craig Tutt, the Ole Miss commit. And Riverdale already with a hill to climb in the early stages inside their own 15 to start their opening series with sophomore quarterback Gavin Hampton. Ravenwood transfer, already collecting Power 4 offers, has had a big year, improving as the season has gone along, and he finds himself having to dig his team out of a hole on the first series of the game.
Over 2,000 yards currently on the season, over 20 touchdowns.
Screen right side, it's caught but covered up. Fighting for yardage is Riley Talley. This Oakland defense just flying to the football. I'll tell you more on them in a moment. As after gaining a couple, it'll bring up a 2nd and 8 for this Riverdale offense. BMC Metalworks starting lineups. Corbin Reynolds, the #1 receiver for the Warriors. We'll see him a lot. Jacob Vaughn, the sophomore running back, leading the way with his 578 rush yards. Explosive offense, as they'll give Vaughn a go. His first carry of the night is tackled down at the 20. And it'll set up 3rd down. The Oakland Patriots defense loaded with star talent. Craig Tutt, our player to watch, the Ole Miss commitment. Number 14, Joel Wyatt, headed to play his college football at Tennessee. The lead tackler right in the middle, number 23, Trayvon Jackson, the senior that really emerged for this group. 3rd and 4 for the Riverdale offense.
It's a good job getting positive yardage on the first 2 downs. Now they have to really convert this on 3rd and 4 where they have options.
All spread out are the Warriors. Hampton. Quick completion. Vaughn able to move up to the 25. He's got the first down. Picks up 5. And Riverdale's able to move the sticks against this Oakland defense.
And 3rd and 4 is just so much more comfortable than a 3rd and 7, 8, just for example, because all your routes in any progression tree, they're available to essentially get you the first down. Okay, so you just run through your progressions. You can hit even your check down if it's well covered, because if everyone else is well covered, that check down should have just enough wiggle room to get those 3 to 4 yards that you need.
BMC Metalworks chain mover. We'll see if that gets Hampton into a groove. He goes back to the ground game. Vaughn with some room to operate. Brought down from behind by Justice Haggard, the senior safety. It's a pickup of 3, sets up 2nd and 7. So Riverdale, after starting the drive inside their own 15, have matriculated out of it. We talked about staying ahead of the chains as such a key for Will Kreisky's football team. Got a chance here to keep it moving with a quick screen out to the left side, and rolled down is the freshman Luke Tritch, bringing up a 3rd down. And speaking of that Oakland defense, some of the most ridiculous numbers you'll see in the state of Tennessee and across the country at the high school football level. 9 games, Bruno Reagan, 3.6 points per game allowed. 6 shutouts. They haven't allowed a point since week 7, October 2nd. You take your pick. Not sure what the most ridiculous number is in that graphic.
I think the average being below, was it 3? Was it below 3? It was like 2.8 or something like that. I think that
3.8.
3.8, excuse me. I think that is probably the most ridiculous stat. Because if you're an offense, you're like, okay, guys, let's find the end zone once and we win the game.
On 3rd and 4, the handoff goes to Vaughn, and he's able to battle his way, looking like a first down, depending on the spot. It may be marked just shy. Riverdale leaning on its ground game here against an Oakland defense that has given up less than 39 rush yards per contest.
Offense staying out currently. It was interesting that they went to that tight trip set out of the slot, and there's the personnel exchange. But they went and ran out of that tight personnel. That's just going to bring the Oakland defense even more inside, add more run blockers into the box, and stop just short as Riverdale.
They're going 4th and less than a yard. Hampton out of the gun. Quarterback keeper up the middle, and he's got just enough. Down 7-0 after the opening kickoff return for a touchdown by Malone. Will Kreisky gives his offense the green light, an offense that has put up nearly 30 points per game and has moved the ball really well this season. A test that this dominant Oakland defense hasn't quite seen yet in terms of the passing attack.
And what a bold decision. I mean, I don't think Oakland has seen anyone try to go for it on their own 36 against them when they're averaging less than 4 points a game, but Riverdale converts.
Right back up the middle with Jacob Vaughn, a healthy dose of the sophomore back. Early in this one as he gets to the 40, picks up 3. The winner tonight could very well be at the top of Region 3 6A going into the playoffs. For Oakland, a win is all that's needed to clinch. For Riverdale, a win and a Blackman loss to Rockvale would have them as region champions. Hampton on 2nd down, able to complete out to the 45 and out of bounds with the first down gain is Zayden Jones. So Will Kreisky, despite taking that punch on the opening kick, has to like the way his offense has responded. Year 9, 74 wins in that time. And the last time his group was here for a regular season matchup was the last time Riverdale beat the Oakland Patriots back in 2023.
He's seen the blueprint. He knows how to, because throughout the season, all you hear is just this vaunting. It's almost mythical, this Oakland Patriots team, specifically this defense, but they've done it before from Riverdale.
Empty backfield. Hampton wings it over the middle. It's complete to the 40, still on his feet. Corbin Reynolds dropped at the 35. The senior receiver, transfer from Loretto, has established a real connection with Hampton this season, and it's a BNC Metalworks first down.
What a massive hit right against Wyatt, who is a great player in his own right for Oakland. I mean, just some of the best talent you can find on Middle Tennessee meeting over the field. And that is an attitude play. That's a play as an offensive lineman, former offensive lineman here, that you see your skill players making. It just fires you up.
Riverdale on the move. Oakland defense that's allowed less than 124 yards per game. Riverdale already over 50 on the opening drive. Hampton facing pressure, hit, sacked. First sack of the game, it's Cullen Williams. Brings him up to 3.5 sacks on the season for the senior leader.
Yeah, a little uncharacteristic to try and bounce out that early, but he probably saw the pressure there on the left interior side of the offensive line and wanted to get something, which ended up running into another rusher in Williams. A great cover from the second line of the defense position.
Loses 5 to make it 2nd and 15, but they may have just made it up with some early movement off the edge.
Prior to the snap, encroachment on the defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Keith Dyer, our white hat. So that takes care of the penalty yardage.
Getting friendly with the Oakland locals here in town. They all love coming to talk to me.
You're an inviting guy. Hampton on 2nd down, flares it down the left side. It's complete inside the red zone and out of bounds. That is Riley Talley. And the Warriors just chipping away in the air. Gavin Hampton dealing on the opening offensive series. That picks up 21.
Something we mentioned in our opener, it's hard for Oakland to have to practice this defense specifically against this style of offense. It's just not something you see much at this level in Tennessee. Usually very run heavy, but Hampton, he's just such a good pass threat, and he's just so efficient too. It's hard to have guys that have that level of poise and trust in their offensive system that it just seems so automatic.
1st and 10. Riverdale looking to even the game up on the opening offensive series. Hampton connects. Touchdown Warriors. Luke Tritch, his first career game at Oakland, has his 7th catch of his freshman season. What an answer.
You're telling me Riverdale has freshmen that can come out here at this level of play? When I was a freshman, I weighed 3 times less than what I did as a senior. I don't know how these kids are able to perform at such a young age. And you can see the young man fired up here for this Riverdale offense on the road. Explosive blade like Tritch.
Extra point from Weaver is perfect, and we're tied up at 7. Electric start in the Battle of the Borough as we close out the regular season at Ray Hughes Stadium. Oakland and Riverdale tied at 7 in the first quarter. Bart Durham Injury Law Anthem moment before the 60th edition of the Battle of the Borough. Glad to have you with us on a Thursday night on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572 on MyTV 30. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan in the booth, Sammy Kincaid downstairs. Hard to draw up a more exciting start to this one. Oakland houses the kickoff return to start the game, 94 yards. Giovanni Malone for the lead, and then Riverdale goes on a 13-play march on offense as Gavin Hampton finds his freshman wideout, Luke Tritch, to even the score.
Every time we come to Oakland, it just turns into an instant classic of a game, so I'm excited to see. I was a little worried with at least the pacing of the game, with how explosive that opening kickoff was for Oakland. Also, very impressed by this Riverdale offense and the way they systematically march down. They've already beaten the average by, I believe, more than half, Lucas, of other teams in the scoring department.
And they'll kick away from Malone this time, but the upbacks are just as talented as you've got a Tennessee commit in Joel Wyatt, fielding it to run up to the 40-yard line where he's brought down. Very strategic by the Oakland coaching staff, placing players like Wyatt and Tutt as the upbacks on kickoffs, and you really have nowhere to turn with their special teams unit.
Yeah, it's unfair, and everyone will tell you, the world ain't fair, son. That's why I tell my little judo students, my 4-year-olds, the world ain't fair. But it just really isn't against this Oakland special teams defense, especially because Tutt and Wyatt, they play everywhere. They play every position, every phase of the game, everywhere.
Well, we just saw a freshman receiver catch the game-tying touchdown for Riverdale. How about a freshman quarterback getting the first snap for Oakland in Cam Morton? Just never went away from a preseason quarterback competition. Now he's sharing dual QB system duties. And he'll take off on 1st and 10. The athletic 9th grader pushed out of bounds as he crosses the 45. We will see a lot of Cam Morton tonight, and we will see plenty of his compatriot at the quarterback position as well, in junior Dante Cameron, as Oakland switches out Morton and Cameron play for play. They're consistent with it. And Cameron, the junior, a transfer from Riverdale High School, facing his former team tonight. As on 2nd down, he turns and hands to Justice Haggard, bullying his way into Riverdale territory.
When you told me that, Lucas, it was actually unbelievable. I had my mouth wide open when we were on the phone. I was like, that's impossible. I've never seen anything like this. A dual quarterback system where they swap plays every time, but you can see why. These are just two guys. It's like they're competing for the spot every down, really, trying to outdo the other. And it just creates a healthy competition that benefits your team and your offense.
Kevin Greasy told us this week they went into fall camp with an all-out competition for a starter, and it kind of carried into the season, and here they are. Like a well-oiled machine, handoff this time to Kamani Bass, showing off that speed across the 30, and he is thrown out of bounds by Hudson Fuqua, deeper into Riverdale territory. Flags come down late. Be some extra activity there from Fuqua, the junior safety.
Little flop action, and it's very rare to see it work. But it looks like Riverdale was baited into a personal foul.
27-yard gain.
He's in theater class in Oakland if they have it.
After the play is over, dead ball personal foul, 17 on the defense, personal foul on number 13 on the offense. They offset, 1st down.
There you go. Great job by our officiating crew tonight, nipping both activities in the bud.
Yeah, no freebies. I will say, Fuqua's got to be careful making contact. I thought it was a decent acting job by Bass to only talk and then react. But you can see these teams are going to fight for yards any way they can, even if it's in the psychological warfare department.
So Dante Cameron will stay on the field at quarterback for Oakland, trying to regain the lead. And the quarterback keeper for Cameron, the junior, leads the Patriots in rushing, reverses field, and gets inside the 15. And talking to Coach Greasy this week about that dual quarterback system, asked him kind of where he picked that up. Is that something that he learned along the way at Oakland during his legendary time here? He said, no, I won 2 state championships at Trousdale County doing that in 2008 and 2009. So Kevin Creasy, no stranger to this kind of system. The Oakland head coach and offensive play caller as Cam Morton comes right back in.
We've only seen on Friday Night Rivals here in Tennessee, at least, every two quarterback system we've seen has essentially worked too. It's unique.
Craig Tutt, the Ole Miss commit, getting his first carry of the night as he falls forward to the 10. We'll get a look at the Oakland offensive starters presented by BMC Metalworks. Tutt with 6 rushing touchdowns on the season. Joel Wyatt, the lead receiver for this team, but they will move these guys around all over the place in multiple different formations. That is something Kevin Creasy has hung his hat on in his 11 years and 5 state championship victories at Oakland High School. Cameron dumps it down. Wyatt, the Tennessee commit, bouncing off tackles and strolling in. And they're going blow for blow in the Battle of the Borough. Wyatt's 6th receiving touchdown of the season, and Oakland regains the lead.
And there was a decent chance for the Oakland defensive lineman, Anthony Gunn, to make that tackle, but coming on the backside against an athlete like Wyatt, it's just so hard to get the contact, able to wrap up. It was a good receiver screen coming back in.
Extra point is blocked. Blocked by Riverdale. There will be no run back. And that's been something Riverdale's been able to do all season. And they hold Oakland to 6 there. So a 13-7 lead for the Patriots, nearing the end of the first quarter. Fun one brewing here in the regular season finale.
Welcome back to Oakland, where Oakland currently leads Riverdale 13-7. And I'm currently joined by Staff Sergeant Secret Wood. And first off, thank you so much for your service, and thank you for joining me here tonight.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And can you tell me, how's the Tennessee Army National Guard different from other military branches?
The Tennessee National Guard is different because we offer so much more choice to the people that are enlisting in our service. So they're able to be here and live here and serve in the place where they're from, as well as receive all the benefits of being in the military.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of jobs people can have if they're in the Tennessee Army National Guard, right? What are some of those jobs that people can have?
Yeah, so we have over 150 different options for employment. So you can do anything from finance to supply to driving trucks. Anything that you have an interest in, we've probably got a niche for you here.
That's awesome that you can take a different career path so many different ways.
Yeah.
And everyone talks about the benefits of being in the military. But what benefit is specific to the Tennessee Army National Guard?
So the Tennessee National Guard is super cool because we're able to get state benefits as well as federal benefits. So you're able to get 100% coverage of tuition and fees to any college or trade school in the state of Tennessee.
Wow, that's such an incredible opportunity. And again, thank you so much for your service. And thank you, as always, to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Guys, up to you.
Thanks, Sammy, Sergeant Wood, and the Tennessee Army National Guard for all their support of Friday Night Rivals. Tonight on a Thursday to close out the regular season. Undefeated Oakland, 7-2 Riverdale, winners of 6 in a row. With just over 2 minutes to go in what has already been an electric first quarter. Lucas Pansica, Bruno Reagan with you in the booth. Oakland returning the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Riverdale marching down the field to even the score. And Oakland returning the favor on offense to take a 13-7 lead with the Joel Wyatt touchdown catch. 6-play, 60-yard drive. The extra point blocked by Riverdale as the Warriors will get it back. Jose Hernandez to boot it away. And it will be Zayden Jones again. No. Jones gives it up and coming to the middle of the field, brought down after a short return is Elijah Reeves. And Riverdale will come back out on offense after an impressive drive. The Warriors got off to a slow start in the season, 1-2 to start. They've ripped off 6 straight wins since their last loss. And a slow start today, giving up that opening kickoff return, but you couldn't ask for a better response from the offense on their last drive, Bruno, now trying to repeat it.
If every series is going to go the way that first series went, we're going to have an absolutely electric game. What worries me is the consistency. Can they do it multiple times against the Oakland defense, who's averaging, giving up less than 4 points a game?
Gavin Hampton, the sophomore quarterback. To throw on 1st and 10. That's a wide open check down. It's Vaughn. His running back is popped. Cullen Williams cleans it up. Drop for a loss. To set up 2nd and long. So that'll bring up 2nd and 12. Gavin Hampton, who has just improved as the season has gone along, his coaching staff loves the way his pocket presence, his ability to go through progressions, understand his reads, has skyrocketed all year. And over the middle, he finds a completion down the right side. Corbin Reynolds, his senior wideout, number 1 man, and they get out of a 2nd and long hole of BMC Metalworks. 1st down and a gain of 16 as we go downstairs to Sammy.
Hey guys, both of these teams are known for graduating nearly all of their starters each year, and somehow they manage to reload the following years. Not very often you see any players on the field younger than a junior, let alone a freshman. Tonight, there's not only freshmen that are playing on the field, but starting. One of those for Riverdale, you just saw him score a touchdown. That was wide receiver Luke Tritch. Coach Kreisky told us, we don't play freshmen, but on his 3rd or 4th practice, you could just tell he was different. He just finds ways to get open, as you saw on that touchdown. For Oakland, you have quarterback Cam Morton as well, blocking for him up front. Offensive lineman Trent Gibbs. Really cool and really excited to see what happens with these freshmen, the fact that they're playing so young.
Thanks, Sammy. Yeah, great job. Luke Tritch, first time ever playing at Oakland High School, gets open at the near pylon for the game-tying touchdown as Craig Tutt chased down Jacob Vaughn there and went out of bounds. Flag came down late.
Play's over. Personal foul. Offense, number 25. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So Vaughn was chased down by Tutt. The play went to the sideline, and that little extra tug there at the end.
You just got to be smarter. You can't get baited. I think Oakland's doing a good job of. The kids call it rage baiting nowadays. They're rage baiting them, and you have to. They're also the home team. They'll have that little advantage here and there. So you just have to stay composed. Know that what Riverdale was doing on the field up to this point. It's enough talk.
Stay tuned for another 3 quarters of Bruno Reagan telling you what the kids are calling it. On 2nd and 24 after the penalty. Play's blown dead. Early movement on Riverdale here.
Prior to the snap infraction on the offense, number 60. It's a 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That backs up the Warriors further. A drive that had a promising start turns into 2nd and 29.
Yeah, they've earned a 1st down just the wrong way, Lucas. So sustaining this drive, our key to the game for Riverdale, it's going to be an up mountain battle. I was going to say uphill. That doesn't describe it correctly enough.
It could take us to the end of the opening quarter at Oakland High School. Fighting for a Region 3 6A championship tonight in the final game of the regular season. Oakland on top of Riverdale at home, trying to preserve an unbeaten record. 13-7 on My TV 30. Starting the second quarter at Oakland High School, the Battle of the Borough. The Patriots lead the Warriors 13-7. We welcome you back on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. Oakland head coach Kevin Creasy in year 11. An 8-time state champion in his illustrious high school football career in Tennessee, 5 of them here at Oakland, with a 145-11 record in over a decade of coaching these Patriots, a dynasty that has been built and was already a historic Middle Tennessee program. Riverdale facing a 2nd and 29 against this vaunted Oakland defense, and Hampton is swallowed up. Going down and sacked Cameron Sanders. All over the sophomore QB, and the Warriors head backwards.
That was already 1st and 20 plus. They got in the first down the wrong way. Now they're about to score a touchdown the wrong way. I believe they would need to cross midfield to get a first down. Yes, that is the end zone. Oakland had to influence the passer whatever way possible in Hampton, and Sanders did just that, getting into the backfield.
Not a whole lot of plays for 3rd and 39 against this defense. We'll hand it off to Vaughn up the middle, and he is tangled down. Sanders again. Kevin Creasy told us this week, Cameron Sanders is one of the most athletic nose guards that you will find in the state of Tennessee, and the senior makes his mark, forcing a 4th and forever. Riverdale will punt from their own end zone.
Does a good job. He gets backfield penetration, sheds the block, has hands, and creates space. That way he can move his shoulders, not let that holding affect him. That is just textbook defensive line play.
Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you in the booth. Did I see some wrestling moves there from a state champion wrestler? Like, would that fly on a mat?
He'd be a great wrestler. I can make him a state champ. Give me 3 months of that. He'd be a state champion, without a doubt.
I think you might stick to football, and these Oakland Patriots that are 9-0, looking to go 10-0 and win Region 3 6A, as it's booted by Weaver and fielded already in plus territory by Tutt. Shakes his and bakes his way out of bounds. Early second quarter, Riverdale boots it away, and Oakland gets it back in plus territory, up 6 in the Battle of the Borough.
Tonight's broadcast of Friday Night Rivals can also be seen streaming live on mytv30web.com, Fox 17 Facebook Live, and YouTube. Brought to you by South College, where dreams find direction.
Oakland football after the Riverdale punt. The Patriots take over on the plus 43 with a 13-7 lead. We welcome you back to MyTV30 Friday Night Rivals. Oakland, with a win, can secure a 10-0 record and undefeated regular season. Would be the 5th in the Kevin Creasy era here. Riverdale would need a win and some help to finish at the top of the region. Both will be headed to the playoffs and could very well see each other in the semifinal. As Craig Tutt gets the give, nothing up the middle. He bounces wide left, flag down late as he's inside the Riverdale red zone. And the future Ole Miss Rebel showing off his change of direction. This one could come back.
Looks like it's going to be a realm of offensive holding.
During the run, holding on the offense, number 4. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
It's on the tight end, Reese Smith. As we look look at the Riverdale starters presented by BMC Metalworks. Aiden Emmons, number 8, a sideline-to-sideline linebacker. We'll be saying his name a lot tonight. And Hudson Fuqua, the safety, number 17, been around this program a long time. And he's got plenty of options on the table to go play major college football. More on his story a little later on when we talk to Sammy. Riverdale defense, as much as we've talked about the Oakland defense, Bruno, this is a Riverdale group that's allowing less than 10 points per game. Their defensive coordinator, Zach Ray.
Yeah, what do they say? Immovable object or unstoppable force?
Something like that.
Sorry, I'm trying to, I don't want to ever steal your mojo on the play-by-play. I could do it if I wanted to, but I don't want to.
I'll hand the baton to you anytime, my friend. As Dante Cameron can't complete to Tut, and they will continue to cycle these quarterbacks. As the freshman, Cam Morton, comes into the game, play after play, and they stick to it, and it works for this Oakland offense that's put up 40 points per contest.
Not to be that guy either, but if I played offensive line and had to come on and off the field every other play, I would be furious, okay? So I get my steps in.
No doubt about that. Morton, the freshman, wants to go deep, doesn't have it, will take off and run. Athletic player as he crosses the 35 and jets out of bounds. Push from behind and will be marked out at the 22. Cam Morton showing off the dual threat ability, and that's a 25-yard gain and a Bart Durham first down.
You can see Thompson, his sole job is to track Morton and try and not let him escape the pocket. Well, you have 2 defensive linemen on the end of the line of scrimmage, and you have to cover basically 4 different gaps along the way. And all Morton does is he baits him into taking a forward step, then cuts immediately lateral and attacks the angle. With an athlete like Morton, it's just so hard out of the linebacker position to be able to cover sideline to sideline like that.
Going under center is Cameron. We'll hand off to Justice Haggard. And he is tailed down at the 20 after picking up a couple in this Region 3 6A battle. Oakland at the top, undefeated. Blackman actually in second. They take on Rockvale this weekend. So Riverdale needing an upset win tonight and a Blackman loss to Rockvale to win the region, as Riverdale lost the head-to-head against the Blackman Blaze. Oakland took care of business on the road at Blackman back in week 6, 32-0. One of their 6 shutout victories this season. As a Craig Tutt run up the middle is stopped short of the 15, and it brings up 3rd down for this Oakland offense.
Pretty good series, all things considered, for this Riverdale defense. Something you mentioned, Lucas, was how they are only giving up 10 points a game as well. So it's just one of those things where, barring anything crazy, I think both of those averages are going to get a little blown out of the water tonight.
Cameron in the gun. Quarterback keeper, and he is popped. Nothing going up the middle. Jeremy Thompson, who has really emerged in the middle of this Riverdale defense, and now is one of their lead tacklers, knifing in.
All right, you want to play what did the kids say? That's called spinning back on him. So Jeremy Thompson gave up that quarterback run out of the edge. Well, he dove right down the middle, attacking the point of the football, and gets the big stop to force a 4th down.
All right, now I'm learning something. This is good. Keep it coming. This is what you learn from being an educator. It's great. It works both ways. 4th and 4, Oakland's offense remains on the field. Little trickery as they toss it back, and tucking and running is Cameron. The junior quarterback has the yards he needs, but there is a flag in the backfield. So this could bail out the Riverdale defense in what would have been a goal-to-go scenario.
Here in the run, holding, offense, number 63. That's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, 4th down.
They'll get the right tackle, Michael Akazi.
And that's a shame, too, because this play, it looked like it was totally drawn. No need for holding. You can see right there on the right side of your screen, and that is holding right there. He is restricting. Going backwards and pulling on the jersey, you have to run your feet forward. That's a symptom of turning your shoulders as a lineman. You want to stay square to the line of scrimmage as possible.
And now Oakland will have to kick on what would be a 45-yard field goal, but a timeout on the field. First one taken by Kevin Creasy. So they'll bring it in and talk about it. On a 4th and 15, Oakland looking to extend a 6-point lead in the Battle of the Borough.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners Sonic, Tennessee Army National Guard, South College, Bart Durham Injury Law, Western Kentucky University, BMC Metalworks, Wilson Bank and Trust, Josh Houston and Associates, and UA Local 572, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support.
The Battle of the Borough, the 60th edition between Oakland and Riverdale, and we're glad you're here on a Thursday night on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan in the booth, Sammy Kincaid down on the sideline. Oakland facing a 4th and 15 after a holding penalty. And coming out of the timeout, the Patriots will still elect to go for the field goal with Jose Hernandez, the senior, from 45 yards. Hernandez just pushes it. And Riverdale will take over down by 6.
Saw the arch initially after the kick, and it was just a matter of maybe it's going to get there or not, but a good attempt and a tough ask in a high school football level to make those field goals.
Typically, Oakland won't go for the field goal unless they're at the 30-yard line or in. And that time, just right on that mark. And Hernandez unable to come up with it. So Riverdale gets it back. Sophomore quarterback Gavin Hampton, an impressive opening series, marching this offense 86 yards. And for a sophomore to throw a touchdown to a freshman on the opening series against this defense certainly has to give Riverdale some confidence as they come out for their 3rd offensive series. Check down to Vaughn, and jets across the 25, has the first down.
Great job by Hampton. There's those little things, too. He's leading his receivers into their breaks, into their yards after the catch. So many quarterbacks just, are scrambling and get to that back shoulder, so able to turn what could have been maybe a 3 to 4 yard gain into a 10-yard.
This game, a fight for a Region 3 6A championship between two of the biggest powerhouse public school programs in Tennessee. Hampton completes left side, weaving across the 40, and down near midfield is Luke Tritch, the freshman, with the catch and run, 19 yards, and Gavin Hampton has completed his first 11 pass attempts of the night.
And if I was a coach, I would, anytime I see Tritch touch the ball this season, I'm like, that's unbelievable. Hopefully I'm not in his region, so I don't have to see this kid every single year. That is so impressive as a freshman. The athleticism, the poise, just incredible.
Well, we heard from Sammy earlier. Riverdale and Oakland as well, two programs that just don't play freshmen. And Luke Trich had this Riverdale coaching staff changing its tune very quickly and quickly earned the respect of his teammates as well, as Hampton goes over the middle and completes the tally in Oakland territory. So Riverdale on the move after a quick 4-yard pickup. 5.5 minutes to go before the United States Navy halftime report. As we highlight this week, Sonic Scholar athletes have participating school administrator interviews, plus highlights from here and across the country. Much more. The U.S. Navy, forged by the sea. Gavin Hampton, 12 for 12, 119 yards and a touchdown. He'll pitch to Vaughn. Blockers on the right side, and Vaughn follows their lead down to the 33-yard line. And it's the Riverdale underclassmen that are taking this game to Oakland. Vaughn, the sophomore back, picks up 14.
A good pinpoint scheme and a great job by Vaughn letting his big man out there, leading him along the way. That was offensive lineman Morrison. And then Vaughn sees that he's going to go for a kickoff block a little bit ahead of him, cuts it back, and then scrapes off of his back pane of his jersey. Just a good football play.
Mark Durham injury law first down, and on the play action, Hampton hit as he throws, and it's his first incompletion of the night. So that brings up 2nd and 10. And let's go back to that run from Vaughn, hanging on to the football with Oakland defenders trying to rip it out. That's a Tennessee commit, Joel Wyatt, trying to get that ball out. And how about Vaughn staying with it to keep possession?
This is such high level. I'm just giddy right here. It's high level defensive and offensive football going on right now. A special treat tonight, this Thursday.
Listen to you. I can hear your smile through your talking. Up the middle, back to Vaughn. He picks up 7. And it's hard not to be blown away by this Riverdale offense so far in the first half. For all the talk about an Oakland defense that's only allowed 1 rushing score all year, 6 shutouts, Riverdale quickly ended that streak of Oakland not allowing a point since week 7.
I mean, it starts with coaching, it starts with attitude, it starts with your message and getting your kids to buy in and believe in. And there's no doubt these Riverdale football players, they believe in their ability, and that starts from the head up with coaching.
3rd and 2. Hampton going deep for the end zone. It's incomplete, but there's a flag down.
Oakland crowd making their opinion known. What we would assume to be defensive pass interference.
Keith Dyer, our white hat tonight.
During the play, defensive pass interference, number 11. That's half the distance. First down.
Kyrie Gaynor, the senior corner.
Take a look at number 11. All the contact on that hands, and it was just a little unnecessary. That's just how tough it is to guard someone like Reynolds, who's been so successful, the number 1 target this game so far and all season for this Riverdale offense.
Just like that, the Warriors are back in the red zone on the Oakland 12. Hampton screens to Trich. The freshman showing the change of direction as he's ushered out of bounds. Wyatt slings him down. Trich shining so far. That's his 4th catch of the night. 42 yards and a touchdown.
Riverdale pulling some offensive linemen, throwing the ball out into the flats. Trying to just get some misdirection, maybe get some eyes pulled from the second level of the defense, those linebacker positions, and find a crease that they can cut their skill players up into, but not enough yet.
Stay tuned in the 4th quarter. We'll tell you the UA Local 572 player of the game. Could it be Gavin Hampton, the Riverdale quarterback? If he keeps making plays like this, it very well could be. Over the middle, he completes to Corbin Reynolds. Touchdown, Riverdale. And the Warriors are an extra point away from taking a road lead in the Battle of the Borough. A South College touchdown. Hampton to his favorite target, Corbin Reynolds.
Had a majority of the production on the impressive first series score. Had that big hit over the middle. Now Reynolds just one-on-one. He draws the pass interference to get Riverdale into scoring position and caps it off with just a quick slant into the inside with that bigger frame. Gets the ball into his chest, falls forward.
Riverdale has its first lead of the game with the extra point from Miles Weaver. What a drive by this Warriors offense. 8 plays, 80 yards, led by the sophomore quarterback, Gavin Hampton.
Hampton just having one of those games. I'm not going to do this all game, but one more. The kids call it the flow state. He's entering the flow state right now. Everything's just coming off super smooth. He's seeing all of his options. When he needs a big play, he goes to his big-time playmakers.
Well, now you've set a precedent, and you have to keep them coming. The next thing you have to do is explain 6-7, because I'm still working on that one.
So that one's a little too meta. Even that word trips me out a little bit, too. It frankly means nothing to me, because that's the irony of it all, and that's why it's so funny to these kids.
You're blowing my mind. And so is this Riverdale offense. What more can you say about the Warriors? A young group coming in here and hanging 14 against an Oakland defense that's given up less than 4 points per contest this season. And we're not even at halftime.
I think this is just a challenge for both of these teams, because both of these teams are going to be impressive football teams here in the playoff season coming up. And this is the type of games you need. And this is the art. Good teams peak around this time, right? So these are teams that maybe they had the success here or there, but now they're both kind of meeting at their apex one another 1 week before the playoff, right? So this is just kind of the treat we get to have as a teaser for what's to come.
Well, both of these programs know what it's like to peak at the right time. 12 combined state titles in the history of Riverdale and Oakland. As Weaver kicks it short, Wyatt, the Tennessee commit, fields it at the 25, leaping over a tackle. And Riverdale swarms the senior as he's down inside the 30. So the Oakland offense will come back out after coming up empty on the last drive. Riverdale trying to come up with the stop of the game. I'll tell you what that is in the fourth quarter. Presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. So Oakland retakes the field at home in this 60th edition of the Battle of the Borough. Riverdale leads the all-time series 33-26. Oakland has won 15 of the last 16. As Wyatt will walk off the field by his own power, a little shaken up after that kickoff return. The future Volunteer was officially announced pregame that he'll be headed to the Navy All-America game in San Antonio in January. So congratulations to Joel Wyatt. Had a massive season for the Patriots. Early movement ahead of this 1st and 10.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. Number 8, the 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Giovanni Malone, the sophomore, who we saw run back the opening kickoff return for a touchdown, called for the false start. As Dante Cameron, the junior quarterback, gets the offensive play call.
Not the start you want for the Oakland offense, currently down by 1 from the missed extra point.
The 5th penalty accepted against the Patriots for a total of 42 yards. Cameron, play action, will take off. The lead rusher for the Patriots spins across the 30 and down at the 35. Cameron, who averages just under 11 yards per carry, picks up 12.
There's always a threat to rush the football on both of these guys out of the quarterback position. It just must be so frustrating to have to defend, especially your defensive end too, because your job is to be the last man on the line of scrimmage, force everything back inside. You just have to see Cameron hit these big holes and get these big gains. Still only 2nd down from the penalty.
And in comes the freshman, Cam Morton. In this dual QB system, hand off to Tutt. He is swarmed, hit down after a gain of 1. Quickly brings up 3rd down for Oakland. Jeremy Thompson getting it done, tracking the Ole Miss commit.
this Riverdale front is just so good at the point of attack. It's hard to create any space in the backfield. You can see all the Oakland rushers having to sort of shuffle laterally as soon as they get the football. Not much forward pressure from the Oakland offensive line so far.
Clock running, under 90 seconds to go. Riverdale does have all 3 timeouts. Cameron with the quarterback keeper doesn't get past the line of scrimmage, and it brings up 4th down.
This is number 15, Nate Underwood, out of the linebacking position, a senior, making a play off the edge. He was virtually unblocked. Oakland had 2 lead blockers, and they both just ran right by him. Said, thanks, I'll take that free TFL.
So the Oakland punting unit will come out with Matthew Moore, the senior punter, who Kevin Creasy tells us is one of the best athletes on the football team, which is a tall task given some of the players we've seen tonight, but always a fake in the back of the mind when Oakland's punting team is on the field. Not this time. That bounces as Fuqua lets it roll, and down at the 18. And that's where Riverdale will take over with only 25 ticks remaining before the United States Navy halftime report. We'll tell you this week's Sonic Scholar athletes, show participating school administrator interviews, plus highlights from here and across the country, and much more to come. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. You're going to want to stick around for those highlights. And Riverdale trying to create one of those for next week as they come out on a 1st and 10 inside their own 20. How conservative do you play here if you're Will Kreisky with a potential halftime lead?
I think if they wanted to score, they would have took the timeout when they forced that punt. Now they're just going to run it out.
Give it to Vaughn. The sophomore runs into a wall after picking up 1.5 yards. And it looks like that is exactly what the Riverdale Warriors will do. All the momentum on the side of Riverdale, coming into undefeated Oakland High School and going into halftime with a 1-point advantage. Impressive first 2 quarters, especially from that young Riverdale offense group.
Definitely not something I expected. This is the season of the unexpected. And a Thursday night game, maybe playing a factor tonight.
So Riverdale trying to repeat what happened the last time they were on this field in a regular season matchup. And that was with Will Kreisky on the sideline. We go downstairs now. Coach Kreisky alongside Sammy Kincaid.
Coach, your offense is having some success against a very dominant defense. What's going to be key for you in the second half to continue that?
Well, you know, I keep telling the kids when we play our standards, good things happen. You know, we have a high standard here at Riverdale, and when we play our standard, we didn't play our standard the second drive. We got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. We jumped off sides. We were very undisciplined the second drive. So what I'm going to go in and preach is live the standard. If we live the standard, we're a good football team.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And coming back after this, we're going to have a whole lot more for you during the halftime report. Right now, we're watching Riverdale at Oakland. We'll be right back after this.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
We're proud to present the Sonic Scholar Athlete of the Week. This week's Scholar Athletes are Aiden Rivas from Riverdale High School and Will Millsap from Clarksville High School. Aiden has a 4.0 GPA, scored a 32 on the ACT, and is the kicker on the football team. Will has a 4.0 GPA, member of the National Honor Society, and Health Occupation Student of America. These All-Stars are now entered to win a $10,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to our Sonic Athletes of the Week. Live free, eat Sonic.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Welcome back to Oakland High School hosting Riverdale, and Riverdale is currently up 14-13, and I'm joined by Riverdale's excited principal right now, Miss Tamara Blair. Thank you so much for joining me during this halftime, and can you tell me what is so special, what's going on that's so special right now at Riverdale?
Well, right now at Riverdale, we got in our new addition this year, so we're very excited about that and all our renovations. So we've been talking about that, I think, for the last 2 years with you guys, and so we are finally in that. And so I'm so proud for our teachers and our students to have something new after so many years of having an older school. As you know, we're 50-plus years old, so it's exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all of those renovations in person. I'm sure it's beautiful, and you just brought up your students and your staff. What are you most proud of with your students and staff?
Well, first off, they've been doing excellent academically, so we're very proud of them as far as that goes. We're a level 5 school, so we're proud of that. Also, just the fact that they are so proud of their new building. So I'm very proud of their behavior and the way they're taking care of the building. Our juniors and seniors especially are so happy that they're no longer having to walk outside and walk in gravel and mud. And so they just seem very appreciative of the school, and that just makes me happy, and I'm very proud of them.
Absolutely. And I feel like this next question, we kind of saw a little bit of it on the field behind us. But what is a warrior? I feel like they're being warriors out there tonight.
Oh, absolutely. They're making me very proud. So, yes, we are the Warriors, and we talk about that daily at Riverdale, because a warrior to us means definitely someone that perseveres, is determined, and has a lot of grit and doesn't give up. And as we all know, that in life, that is something that's an important quality to have. And so we talk about it as far as needing that, being a warrior as an athlete, being a warrior as a student academically, and just being a warrior in life, no matter what obstacles or challenges come your way. So we talk about that all the time, and that it's a great warrior spirit to have in the building.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for joining me during the halftime report. And thank you, as always, to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight. Whenever we come back from break, we're going to have highlight stats, another Educator Spotlight. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Welcome back to Oakland High School, hosting Riverdale. Currently, Riverdale leading 14-13, but I'm joined by Oakland's principal, Dr. John Marshall. And first off, thank you so much for hosting us. It's always such a great time being here at Oakland.
Hey, we're glad to have you. It's a great atmosphere. You never know. When it's the Battle of the Borough, anything can happen. Records and rankings don't matter.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about on the field in a little bit, but in the classroom, I hear that you guys are getting done not just this past year, but y'all have been a level 5 school for a while. Talk about the success in the classroom at Oakland.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously compete at a high level, and everyone recognizes our football, our swim team, our other groups, our band. But one of the things we're most proud of is what we do in the classroom. And so to be a level 5 school since 2016 is a testament to great teachers, committed students, and supportive parents. And we're thankful to have that.
And what you're doing in the classroom is really getting students ready for college. So what are you doing specifically to get them prepared and ready for college?
Certainly. I think it's important. The state stresses about us having additional opportunities. More than just a high school diploma is what we need today. And I think one of the things we excel at is our ready graduate or college and career readiness. And we have the highest score in our county for preparing our students for those industry certifications, and having additional skill sets to be successful in life post-high school is our main opportunity.
And absolutely. And I just mentioned, we'll get back to what's on the field. And there's a very high stress of the importance of extracurriculars here at Oakland. You have a lot of them. Talk about the extracurriculars that are offered here at Oakland.
Yeah, we stress to every student participation. Join something: chess club, band, choir, fine arts, theater, CTE, FFA, DECA, all those things, athletics. All of it develops that well-rounded students, prepares them. It's important what we're getting into the classroom, but it's equally important what skill sets they learn in leadership, teamwork, communication, all the things that's equally valuable for them to be successful in life. And that's one of the things we want to see our students doing, is getting involved and participating in those things.
Absolutely. And one last one for you. I was just talking to Riverdale about it. There's been a lot of construction at both of your schools lately. We came here today. It's looking beautiful. What can you say about the progress here and just what it means for your students and your staff to be able to now be here? And I know it's still under construction a little bit, but to see the progress that's here now.
Well, it means so much to our community to have the investment that's been made. When you're 50 years old and you're the known school, Riverdale and Oakland, for so many years in Murfreesboro, you take for granted that. And also the attention we need. So we were so thankful that people saw that in our elected bodies to be able to fund that and to be able to walk the halls and see how that impacts our students, to feel that newness that we have and the size of the increase that we've got. It's amazing opportunities we've added for them.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for hosting us here tonight. It's always a pleasure to be here. So thank you for that. And thank you again to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight. Whenever we come back, Lucas and Bruno, they're going to have highlights, stats, a lot more. So stick with us. We're going to be right back after this.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Halftime at Ray Hughes Stadium. The Riverdale Warriors lead on the road 14-13 over the undefeated Oakland Patriots as we welcome you back on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals presented by UA Local 572. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you. We'll hear more from Sammy Kincaid and Oakland head coach Kevin Creasy shortly. But Bruno, what more can you say about Riverdale coming in here, rivalry matchup, region title on the line, and taking a halftime lead into the break?
Well, we heard the standard. Riverdale holds themselves to a high standard, and they've met that standard up to this point. But this is a game where you have to play all 4 quarters. In the next 2 quarters, that's where the physical aspect, the conditioning aspect, all comes into place.
And that's where Oakland has been dominant this season, so we'll see what happens. But first, let's look at the first half highlights as Oakland were the ones to get this game started on fire with the opening kickoff. Giovanni Malone, 94 yards to the house.
Yeah, and just look at Malone. He just cuts up vertical, and he makes the one cut he needs on who else? The kicker, and starts the light show early. I was a little worried about the entirety of this game after seeing that.
But Riverdale had an answer with an 86-yard drive. The sophomore Hampton to the freshman,
Tritch. Riverdale, they don't play freshmen, except this guy right here.
And Dante Cameron, the junior, connecting with Joel Wyatt, the future Tennessee Volunteer, as Oakland punched right back to take their second lead. But the extra point blocked by the Riverdale special teams unit. And that had Oakland with a 6-point lead, and the Warriors were not done scoring before halftime. Gavin Hampton this time leading an 80-yard drive and finding his senior wideout, Corbin Reynolds.
Yep, Corbin Reynolds has just been, he's one of our players to watch for a player of the game. On that first series where they had all the explosive plays, he hit over the middle, laid some booms, and then converted on that last score. As we take a look at our halftime stats, Riverdale up 1 on Oakland, as you saw in the highlights that Oakland did miss an extra point, and we can take a look at a tale of 2 different styles of football. 131 yards passing for Riverdale, a very impressive completion percentage for Hampton in this game. Oakland about to break 100 yards rushing, but the total's not too high. A little bit more penalties on Oakland than you'd like to see.
Now, Oakland's only allowed under 124 yards per game coming into the contest. Riverdale already cruised past that in 2 quarters at 157. Going to be an electric second half, but each week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, we showcase outstanding Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals game highlights from across the country. So let's check out some of the best from last week's action.
Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
He's going to heave it deep right down the middle of the field and going up to get the football. Did he come down with the football?
Yes,
he did.
Sir.
What a catch right there from Colleen Taylor.
Allen Moore with pressure on the backside and swoop. That ball's on the ground and picked up. This is going to be a scoop and score. Jaden Millhouse to the house. Outlaw Casa.
Downfield, intercepted. It's going to be picked off by Holmes. Here he comes to the near side, and Holmes trying to pick up blocks. Cuts it back the other way. Holmes still on his feet. Holmes, will it be a pick 6? Yes, it will. Fade to the end zone, trying to make the one-handed catch. Tremendous effort over there by Isaiah Ivey. Call it a touchdown.
That was 4th and 10. She's down to the pocket, launches it down the field, and it is caught. It's a touchdown.
Oh my goodness!
What in the world?
Playmaking ability from Fort.
Peachy to the end zone. Touchdown!
Oh my goodness!
The final play of the game. What a moment!
You got your way. QB sneak wins the game. That's a fitting end of the season, don't you think?
All of the emotions. For
Coach, you had some big offensive sparks there in the first half. What did you say to your team on the offensive side of the ball that you really need to capitalize? That's going to be key for you to do that here in the second half.
Yeah, I think we've made mistakes. Penalties have cost us. Had a chance to go up, shot ourselves in the foot with penalties, and
being outplayed right now. I think we're being outplayed in special teams. That's why we're losing by one. I think we got to do a better job of protecting our field goal guy. And ultimately, we got to block better on offense and tackle better on defense.
And a big key message, it seemed like, on the sideline was it's the same thing. It's the same thing. What was the same thing that was happening, and what was really the message for that during halftime in the locker room?
Yeah, a lot of times Oakland beats Oakland, and we don't need that to happen. So give Riverdale credit. They played great, and if they beat us, then hats off to them. But if we beat ourselves, that's a problem.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Second half ready to get underway in the Battle of the Borough, the final week of the regular season. Fighting for the top of Region 3, 6A, Riverdale leads by a point at Oakland as we head downstairs. Sammy Kincaid standing by with Oakland head coach Kevin Creasy.
Coach, you had some big offensive sparks there in the first half. What did you say to your team on the offensive side of the ball that you really need to capitalize? That's going to be key for you to do that here in the second half.
Yeah, I think we've made mistakes. Penalties have cost us. Had a chance to go up, shot ourselves in the foot with penalties, and being outplayed right now. I think we're being outplayed in special teams. That's why we're losing by one. I think we got to do a better job of protecting our field goal guy. And ultimately, we got to block better on offense and tackle better on defense.
And a big key message, it seemed like, on the sideline was it's the same thing. It's the same thing. What was the same thing that was happening, and what was really the message for that during halftime in the locker room?
Yeah, a lot of times Oakland beats Oakland, and we don't need that to happen. So give Riverdale credit. They played great, and if they beat us, then hats off to them. But if we beat ourselves, that's a problem.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sammy. To Kevin Creasy's point, 5 penalties for 42 yards against the Patriots in that first half, and they kick off to the Riverdale Warriors to start the second. As it's fielded at the 10 and weaving up the right side, spinning down is Jacob Vaughn. So Riverdale will come out on offense, but before the first snap of the half, let's go down to Sammy for another injury update.
Hey guys, for the Bart Durham injury update is thankfully the same as the beginning of the game, shorter, with only one player out for the Riverdale side, and that is LeBrian Shelbourne. He is out with the torn ACL, and also only one player out for Oakland, that is Michael Brown. He was a two-way starter, so that's a big loss for Oakland as well. That's your Bart Durham injury update. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Sammy. So it's the Riverdale offense back on the field with sophomore quarterback Gavin Hampton. 14 of 15, 131 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. An extremely efficient first half for the sophomore signal caller as he gives up the middle to Vaughn. His sophomore classmate shot out of a cannon for a 5-yard pickup.
Riverdale going to still work to sustain drives. They're going to get back into that run game, but their pass game is opened up. We take a look at Hampton's numbers: 14 of 15, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, making his case for our player of the game.
Hampton already collecting offers from the likes of Mississippi State, Nebraska, Maryland. As only a sophomore, the transfer from Ravenwood High School, leading the Warriors in a hostile environment, the 60th edition of the Battle of the Borough. Pulls the handoff, and Hampton, trying to show the wheels, dives towards the marker. He may have just enough. Will depend on the spot. And they will move the chains. A BMC Metalworks first down for a Riverdale offense that now faces an even bigger challenge, Bruno. A against an Oakland defense that's allowed 6 second-half points all season.
Yeah, and you go into halftime, and I want to talk about halftime adjustments real quick, because everyone's like, okay, well, what are they going to do? How are they going to get back? There aren't really that many halftime adjustments. For Oakland, if anything, they have to get away from the penalties, but most of those were on the offensive side of the football. So from the defensive standpoint, they have to adapt to what they've seen in the first quarter and maybe tailor some individual play and get some influence just like that.
And a sack by Trayvon Jackson, the senior, brings down Hampton, and he's dropped for a massive loss. And the Oakland defense heard us up here and finds an answer.
It's a good job. You saw Trayvon Jackson rip. He had his shoulder dig down to the ground as low as his knee to force his body through the offensive line of scrimmage and just knifed right into Hampton's lap.
He is the lead tackler of this vaunted Oakland unit. His head coach says Jackson has emerged as a superstar this season. And Riverdale now faces a 2nd and 18. Hampton just checks it down to his open man, but having to go to ground is Tally. Just picking up a couple. Always plenty at stake when these two go head-to-head. Bragging rights on the line, crosstown rivalry, and how about a region championship on top of it? In Region 3 6A, as Riverdale can win the region with a win and a Rockvale win against Blackman. There's no scenario where Riverdale can finish as the 2 seed. And they would need some help, but it all starts with an upset victory tonight. And Hampton completes over the middle to Corbin Reynolds. Digging out of a 3rd and long. It's a first down, 18 yards, sophomore to senior.
Nothing else? Go to Reynolds. Find number 1 on your screen. He'll be open. He'll make a play. A great job. You can see 4 Oakland defenders all around the area, and also a good job by Hampton to just fit that window on the route, knowing the timing when it'll open up.
This offense got off to a slow start to the season, 1-2 in the first 3 games, and then really just nailed down the trust between quarterback and receivers, and that has blossomed as Riverdale takes a 6-game win streak into tonight. Going up the middle to Jacob Vaughn, who fights his way to midfield.
Riverdale will probably start to lean on Vaughn a little bit more in this second half as the Oakland defense starts to accumulate some reps of work. Maybe take advantage of a little bit of fatigue, control the line of scrimmage with that run game, and open up your short passing game on 2nd and 3rd and short.
This is 2nd and 5 for the Riverdale Warriors.
This is a down and distance where a lot of OCs also like to take their shots, knowing that they have a 3rd and manageable if it doesn't work out.
Hampton with the play action, ball's tipped up, he catches his own pass. Gavin Hampton upended at the 45, and it's been that kind of night for the Riverdale offense.
I've only seen Tennessee Titans quarterbacks make that sort of play, right? Or excuse me, not Titans, but just Tennessee quarterbacks in general. I've seen Hampton make it. I've seen Mariota make it. They're the only ones that can sort of convert this. And a bounce off of an Oakland defender. And just a good offensive play there by Hampton.
I mean, that's how you spread the football around. My goodness.
It's BMC Metalworks first down.
Hampton on 1st and 10. Over the middle, leaping grab by Trich. The freshman calls it in. And it's another BMC Metalworks chain-moving play in the passing game. Firing on all cylinders against this Oakland defense. 17-yard gain.
Riverdale has all the momentum. Great as we take a look at the Oakland defense in the second half. They only allow under 4 points a game, but they have 6 shutouts in their 5 regional games. No points allowed since October 2nd. They've only had 6 points scored on them all season at the end of the second half. Or excuse me, in the second half in its entirety.
Now Riverdale obviously ending that streak of no points since October 2nd, but Oakland has yet to allow a point in the 3rd quarter this season. Hampton trying to spin out of trouble, and that time the Patriots chase him down. I mean, from a player perspective, you see those numbers. This rivalry is a huge deal in this community. What kind of response do you think that's elicited from this Riverdale offense as everybody's talking about how dominant the Oakland defense has been?
Well, every coach will tell you, they'll tell their guys, this is just another game, the coaching points, et cetera, et cetera. I know whenever I played Tennessee as a Vanderbilt player, it did mean a little more, and I'm ashamed to say it. As a competitor, you want to have that, right? But sometimes you do prepare a little sharper. Sometimes you do wake up, especially when you're this late into the season and the monotony might have affected you week 5, 6, 7. It gets you up and going.
Timeout on the field. It'll be taken by Riverdale, first one of the half, as the Warriors, after a promising start to the drive, face a 2nd and 13 with a 1-point lead in the Battle of the Borough on MyTV 30. Welcome back to Oakland High School at Ray Hughes Stadium. A huge thanks to the Patriots, the entire community here for having us. As you see, Sammy Kincaid standing alongside John Marshall, the principal here at Oakland. 8-time state championship program, hosting a 4-time state championship winning program in Riverdale, and always an electric atmosphere in the Battle of the Borough here on Friday Night Rivals. But things starting to get a little spooky here for this Oakland fan base, who hasn't seen much of this season. A 14-13 game. The difference right now, a blocked extra point by the Riverdale special teams unit, and the Warriors offense on the move. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you in the booth. Sammy Kincaid downstairs. Gavin Hampton, the sophomore quarterback for Riverdale, facing a 2nd and 13. Faking the pitch to Vaughn, and he finds Reynolds, but so does Oakland. That is Trayvon Jackson, the lead tackler.
Trayvon Jackson already making a good play with the sack knifing in earlier in their series. Comes up again where they need it, but Riverdale still has a chance. They've converted a 3rd and long before. I have to imagine they'll be eyeing for Reynolds, who has been their go-to guy on these must-have situations.
3rd and 13, early movement. Could make this 3rd down a little more manageable for the Warriors, and the penalty issues continue for Oakland.
Prior to the snap, encroachment on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
That'll turn a 3rd and 13 into a 3rd and 8. As we hear for the first time tonight from our white hat Keith Dyer. Stay tuned. The UA Local 572 player of the game will tell you who it is in the 4th quarter. Riverdale trying to make this a 4-quarter football game, something nobody's done against Oakland, who has an average margin of victory of over 36 points in 2025. Hampton on 3rd and long, guns it over the middle. It's caught with the flag down. Ruled down before the goal line. He connects with Braylon Burns for the first time tonight. And we'll see if this is on the defense or if Riverdale will be the ones that are backed up. Looks like it'll be on Oakland. We'll see if Dwayne has a number here. And a potential 1st and goal for the Warriors.
Here in the pass, holding on the defense, number 10. That penalty is refused. 1st down.
called against Colin Williams, the linebacker. First and goal, Riverdale.
Well, Colin Williams was out there in the open space, so we got the number wrong, but nonetheless, it was still brought in by Riverdale and Braylon Burns. An electric play, now we're in the goal line.
First and goal on the 3. Handoff, Vaughn runs into a wall. Second effort. And it'll bring up second and goal against an Oakland offense, or defense rather, that has yet to allow a point in the third quarter so far this season, as hard as that may be to believe.
It is Halloween coming up, by the way. Halloween is tomorrow, so we can see we have guest appearances by Monsters, Inc. and Squirtle in the crowd tonight.
Got any costume plans?
Who was my costume? I already wore my costume for last week. I don't go out and trick-or-treat anymore, Lucas.
It's a shame. Hampton up the middle on the QB keeper, and he is stopped shy of the goal line. Here comes third and goal. Oakland trying to come up with the stop of the game. We'll tell you what that is in the fourth quarter. Presented, as always, by NHTSA. Third and goal. The Warriors looking to extend their lead. Hampton out of the gun. Going to take another crack at it. Pushing the pile. No call. Is the ball out? Waiting on an official ruling. Riverdale saying it's a touchdown. Oakland saying it's a turnover. Our crew has yet to tell us.
Looks like they're setting up for the conversion.
That's a touchdown, Riverdale Warriors. Riverdale extends the lead. Gavin Hampton up the middle, his third rushing score of the season.
And Hampton does land. I think the ball crosses the plane before it does come out. The ball is ripped out after Hampton's on the ground, but it is called and ruled a touchdown on the field, Riverdale.
The kick is up and good, and the Warriors pick up where they left off from the first half. The Oakland crowd stunned, and the Warriors lead by 8 in the Battle of the Borough on MyTV 30.
We're catching up with JHA to find out what's going on. Josh, fill us in. I mean, what all do you guys have going on right now?
Well, expansion and opportunity. We've expanded our photo division into Williamson County and Wilson County, and we've expanded our market footprint. We're going to be in the Tri-Cities this year. We've got a representative in West Tennessee. We've got one in Chattanooga, so we're really excited about bringing our company MO to those markets. Very excited about it.
Well, I've got to ask you this, Josh. Obviously, I know of the great work you do with schools, but I understand you also work with businesses, too?
We certainly do. So our school business will always be our bread and butter, but through our branding, we can elevate any business brand as well. Promotional products, custom signage, custom apparel. We're ready to elevate brands for any businesses that want to reach out to us.
Well, speaking of which, anytime you increase your footprint, and JHA is to serve more of Tennessee, you might have to have more employees.
We have been on the ramp up. We've got between 30 and 40 team members, and our people are our number one asset. We're grateful for each and every one of them, and we certainly couldn't expand without them.
Josh, what is the best way for businesses and schools to reach out to you and find out all the services that JHA offers?
JHAcompany.com. You'll find both our business-to-business offerings as well as our business-to-consumer, so our consumer traffic will flow through the site, and all of the, again, B2B clients can check us out, JHAcompany.com.
One source to serve you all, and now in more markets. JHA.
The Riverdale Warriors, after Gavin Hampton punched in a goal line touchdown, lead the Oakland Patriots 21-13. We welcome you back in. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you in the booth. Sammy Kincaid downstairs. The Battle of the Borough and a potential Region 3 6A championship if Riverdale can hang on and Blackman falls against Rockvale. And Will Kreisky leading his team in his 9th season as the head coach at Riverdale. 14-play, 76-yard drive, almost 9 minutes off the clock. Talking to Coach Kreisky pregame, we discussed a little bit the last time the Warriors were here in a regular season game, a 25-24 win. It was the last win for Riverdale in this rivalry matchup. As Weaver boots it, and it is muffed, but picking it up on the bounce is Craig Tutt. Won't allow him to get past the 25-yard line. And Oakland will come back out on offense, as we remind you that Fridays at 9:30 or after college football. Not to miss Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. Catch the biggest plays, the most unbelievable hits. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick brings the highlights, scores, and more for high school football games across the mid-state. Fridays at 9:30 or after college football. Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust, who we'd like to take a moment to thank for tonight's financial tips. What does Oakland need to do to get going here offensively?
I think their quarterbacks, whenever they do those drop downs, they need to commit to it and try and get the passing game going.
And this will help with the run up the middle, racing across midfield. Still going down the right sideline and scooting out is Kamani Bass. The junior taking the handoff 53 yards. And just like that, Oakland knocking on the door of the red zone.
I love being instantly wrong. It's one of the most humbling experiences that a human can go through. And it is great, too, because Oakland, what their response is they're going to continue to do what Oakland does. There's a reason they're undefeated to this point. They're going to stick in. They had a little misdirection, the fake jet sweep into the rollout, let their Kamani Bass, their running back, get some speed off the edge. It was a good conversion.
The kind of guy that's just easy to lose track of, right? With an Oakland offense that boasts a Tennessee commit, an Ole Miss commit, so many different playmakers. And that was his second touch of the game. This time the Ole Miss commitment gets the give as Tutt is stifled. And it brings up 2nd and 10. So we'll see if that 53-yard scamper by Bass gave us our play of the game. We'll tell you what that is coming up in the fourth quarter, presented by the Tennessee Army National Guard. Big difference in this game, Bruno. Time of possession, Riverdale over 24 minutes of the football. Oakland just over 8.5 minutes.
It's one of our keys to the game, coming in, sustain those drives, control time of possession.
One Oakland touchdown on a kickoff return. They're trying to add another one here, going back to Bass on the pop pass as he gets inside the red zone, has the first down, and will be stopped at the 11. Kamani Bass has helped solve some of the Oakland offensive issues here. It's 1st and 10 for the Patriots at the 11 of Riverdale.
You see that pin pull scheme where a front side and a backside guard pulls out onto the play side, and then they're just swinging a receiver back inside into the formation and taking them the opposite way, relying on speed to beat out scheme.
Dante Cameron back in at quarterback. He hands to Tutt. Again, nothing up the middle for the 2024 Mr. Football finalist in 6A. Headed to play for Ole Miss over offers from the likes of Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee, you name it. Headed to play safety at the college football level, but he has been a high-impact player for this offense and gets a toss here with room. A stiff arm Tutt rolls into the end zone. And Oakland punches right back on offense. Craig Tutt with his 7th rushing score of the season. And the Patriots look like they're going to keep the offense on the field to go for 2 after the South College score.
they've just been swinging it. They're attacking the edges. I think that's where the Riverdale defense is struggling a little bit. They have these stout, strong inside linebackers, but when you make them cover sideline to sideline, you get an edge a little bit.
It'll be the freshman quarterback, Cam Morton. In this 2 QB system, they switch out play after play. And it's worked for the Patriots all season. Morton under center for the 2-point try. Fakes the handoff, has open men, and connects. Lee Smith hauls it in. And the tight end ties the game.
Two-point conversion, and I mentioned that they do have to commit to a little bit of the pass game if they want to do anything, and they use it on their 2-point conversion to get the Riverdale defense, catch them on their toes a little bit, not too much on their heels, not much coverage, mindset going, and they're able to tie it up, overcoming that missed extra point earlier with a 5-play, 76-yard drive, capped off by that 9-yard rush by the Ole Miss commit Tug.
We've got a tie ball game in the Battle of the Borough. 60th edition. Final game of the regular season. Region title on the line. Everything you could possibly ask for in this historic Middle Tennessee rivalry. Oakland undefeated. Riverdale 7-2, winners of 6 in a row. And now the Warriors will be asked to respond on offense after what has already been such an impressive performance. For the Patriots, unlike Riverdale, they do control their destiny to win the region. A victory gets it done, even with the loss. A Blackman win against Rockvale, as that game is currently in progress, would also clinch the region in the 1 seed in the playoffs for the Patriots. And speaking of Blackman Rockvale, the Blaze lead Rockvale 35-7 after a pick 6 over the midway point of the 3rd quarter. So the region title looking like it's slipping for Riverdale, but I don't think that's a conversation happening on the Warriors sideline at the moment, as their offense will get ready to retake the field. Jose Hernandez scoops it up into the Murfreesboro night. It bounces and is fielded. Chopped down at the 25. Excellent kick coverage there. Terry Ligon, the sophomore, knifes in. Let's run down to Sammy Kincaid downstairs.
Hey guys, I'm listening in to the Oakland sideline right now, and the message from Coach Creasy to his team is, we're going to have to be patient, you guys, for the rest of this game. It's going to be 5-yard plays for the remainder of this game. We're not going to have 20-yard dashes like we're used to. You're going to have to be patient. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Sammy. Certainly not something that Oakland is accustomed to this season. A knockdown, drag-out matchup. With a minute to go in the 3rd, Vaughn back at it in the run game. He is popped at the 30. Hit hard. Coming down is Justice Haggard to lay the wood. It's a 5-yard gain for the sophomore.
There's always a defensive back that can just sneaky hit you hard out of nowhere. I know a guy named Ryan White. He might have been 5'5". Man, I would hate it. He was probably the guy I hated the most blocking against in practice.
Who was that for you in the SEC?
That was Zach Cunningham in practice. Yeah, without a doubt.
That adds up.
He just wouldn't watch film, wouldn't do anything, play Mortal Kombat, and would just kill us all. It was awesome.
Still kicking it in the league, I believe, Zach Cunningham. What will be the final play of the 3rd quarter, in all likelihood, is Hampton is rolled down and sacked. Trayvon Jackson having a heck of a second half for this Oakland defense as we head to the end of the 3rd quarter with a tie ball game. Riverdale, after taking an 8-point lead, taking a punch from Oakland. And we've got a thriller lined up down the stretch in the Battle of the Borough on MyTV 30.
Tonight's broadcast of Friday Night Rivals can also be seen streaming live on mytv30web.com, Fox 17 Facebook Live, and YouTube. Brought to you by South College, where dreams find direction.
Three quarters down and one remaining in the regular season in 2025. Oakland and Riverdale tied up at 21 in the Battle of the Borough. As we welcome you back, Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you, Sammy Kincaid on the sideline. And Ray Hughes Stadium is starting to come alive in this crosstown rivalry matchup, the decider of Region 3 6A. Gavin Hampton, the sophomore quarterback, what a night he's had for Riverdale. 20 of 21 for 197 yards. Pair of passing touchdowns and a rushing score. Hampton dropping back on third down, just flings it out of bounds, and Oakland gets off the field. And the first 3 and out of the night forced by this Oakland defense comes in the fourth quarter.
A big game. You saw the pressure right there from number 23, Trayvon Jackson. I think he's making his own case out of the defensive side of the football for player of the game. He's having an absolutely great game. Our key to the game coming in was influencing Hampton, getting him out of the pocket, getting him down. Jackson has done just that.
Miles Weaver comes out to punt. Greg Tutt back deep. He has housed 3 punts for touchdowns so far this season. Oakland already has a special teams touchdown tonight from the opening kickoff. Weaver gets it off, and Tutt will just let it roll. And it's down at the 29-yard line. That's where the Oakland Patriots will come out. As we remind you that Fridays at 9:30 or after college football, Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live is on the air, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. The biggest plays, the best hits. Jill Jelnick brings you the highlights, scores, and plenty more for high school football action across the Mid-State. Fridays, 9:30 or after college football, Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, brought to you by Wilson Bank and Trust. So here comes the Oakland offense. Dante Cameron will get his turn here at quarterback, the Riverdale transfer, facing his former team. They toss it. Will Millsap with his first touch as he tunnels across the 30 to the 33-yard line, picks up 5.
Sammy mentioned in her hit, Oakland's going to try and control the time of possession. They're going to play a little bit more patient. And we can see at the dominance that Oakland has had in this rivalry. Oakland currently leads the series 7-1 since 2020. They've won the last 15 of 16.
That one loss came the last time Riverdale was here for a regular season matchup in 2023. Cam Morton, the freshman, airing it out deep just over the head of Joel Wyatt. His intended target, and just like that, it brings up 3rd and 5. Oakland has had the upper hand in recent years. A program that's won 4 state titles in the last 5 years in 6A. Riverdale still leads the all-time series 33-26. And we are talking about 2 of the most storied programs in Tennessee history.
Only 10 seconds on the play clock, and the play hasn't been called yet, so might have to see a timeout here from Oakland.
Play clock down to 3 as Oakland gets set. And there's the timeout from the Oakland sideline. First one of the half for the Patriots ahead of a massive 3rd and 5. And we'll take one with them. Riverdale trying to get off the field. Oakland looking to keep the drive alive when we return. 3rd and 5 for Oakland on their own 33. Kevin Creasy bringing in his football team in a game that has been nip and tuck from the jump. Oakland housing the opening kickoff. Giovanni Malone running it back 94 yards. And you thought maybe we'd be in for yet another Oakland blowout win, but Riverdale had an answer. Fighting back, and it has been blow for blow since, Bruno. And it's the type of thing that we talked to Kevin Creasy about this week. It's a good problem to have, no doubt, but with as dominant as Oakland has been this season, you always wonder about how your team will respond in a tight ball game like this, especially in a rivalry matchup.
Yeah, well, and we've seen it. You've asked me what would I do in a certain situation. Well, I was like, well, maybe we need to establish one or the other. It's just proven that these two coaches have a system, they have a philosophy, they have a way of training, and they have their play calls, and they're going to stick to them. They're going to maybe package the messaging a little bit different to these kids, but at the end of the day, it's two good football teams playing in peak football time here in Week 10. So you're just going to have to buckle up and make a play.
Ask both coaches what the most common theme is in the battle of the borough year over year. Physicality, the common answer. Oakland student section showing out on this Thursday night. Regular season finale. Here's a 3rd and 5. Cameron, the quarterback, in on this play. And he finds Reese Smith, his tight end, battling across the 40, and he's got the first down. A Bart Durham injury law first down completion to Smith. Gain of 11.
Looks like our keys of the game are going to flip, where it was sustained drives and influence the quarterback. That's now on the Riverdale side of the football, and Oakland's going to try and sustain these drives. On a 3rd and 5, they air it out with their run first offense. Definitely going to catch this Riverdale defense on their toes a little bit too much. Those flats that underneath of the secondary, those will be open.
Faking the pitch is Morton, the freshman QB, getting in. They hand off up the middle, but Riverdale not fooled. Gain of 3 for Craig Tutt. Here's 2nd and 7. We'll continue to swap out these QBs, something Oakland has done all season. Dante Cameron, beloved by current and former teammates as he faces his former school. Gives to Tutt, coming around in motion, and he's unable to get to midfield. Here comes another 3rd down for the Patriots. There's a flag down. Let's hear from Keith Dyer.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Penalties have largely gone against Oakland so far tonight. This time Riverdale hands the Patriots 15 yards.
And that one wasn't, he didn't even try to hide that one. You know when you grab a face mask and you can kind of feel the influence, I would instantly, hey, at least he committed, I guess, bringing him down.
That's Hudson Fuqua, the junior safety and leader for this Riverdale defense. 1st and 10, Cam Morton on the play action. On the move, the freshman will take off and run. Cuts upfield, and Morton has the first down. They'll spot him at the 21. There is a flag on the play.
Take a look at the top of your screen on the right side. We'll see if we can find that flag. And I don't know about that one. It's either going to be called a hold or block in the back, and it is a holding on Oakland.
Yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
He's running his feet. If you're running your feet and the defender turns into you to kind of force that look, in my opinion, that's no holding. But the call on the field is what matters. They do get the first down.
Dante Cameron back in at QB. Another look as it's on Will Millsap, the senior. So they'll pitch to Tutt. Has to reverse field, and he's got room to do it. Craig Tutt gets a block. A flag comes out, and he is hit at the 25. And This looks like it's going to come back once again.
They're going to call this one a block in the back. There's actually two different flags, one in the middle of the field, but the one that we saw drawn on your screen, that'll be called a block in the back. It looked legal from my first point of view again. I'll give you some insight once we see it.
Blindside block, offense. Number 7, 10-yard penalty. Down.
How difficult can this be for blockers when a player is reversing field that way and the football maybe is going into an unexpected area?
It's not difficult at all. I mean, if anything, it's the easiest block. The guy obviously isn't looking. What you need is his shoulders facing you, not the helmet, the shoulders. And his shoulders were facing the offensive players. Now, if you want to call it dangerous or whatever, I'll understand that, okay? And that's where you see a lot of the college guys and NFL guys, the guys that played a long time, veterans, they do what? They throw the hands up and they basically are running a, what do they call it in basketball? It shows how little I know about basketball, right? They're running like a 3-point big man trying to get around him. They're running a post.
Morton dropping back, taking off, and jetting back into Riverdale territory. Make up some of the penalty. That is 8 penalties for 72 yards against the Patriots. It was Kevin Creasy's biggest talking point with Sammy out of halftime, and it's really hurt them on this drive. As now Cameron gets his turn at QB. 18 yards for the first down as the clock moves inside 8 minutes to play. Cameron on play action, facing heat, escapes out of it, and Dante Cameron is inside the 30, still moving at the 15. Cameron at the 5, into the end zone. Houdini in the house at Ray Hughes Stadium. 43 yards, Dante Cameron gives Oakland the lead in the fourth quarter.
From 2nd and 18, Dante Cameron pulls up, calls his own number, and a few different times right here, I thought he was going to be ruled down. You can see these shoestring tackles aren't going to work. Cameron is the more senior of the two quarterback system here at Oakland. His number gets called in a very, very important series to make it 7-0.
Hernandez knocks in the extra point. Dante Cameron, this team's lead rusher, getting it done, and the Patriots lead in the Battle of the Borough.
Oakland, where Oakland is hosting Riverdale, and they just scored to go up 28-21 over Riverdale. And I was just standing over on the Riverdale sidelines listening into the offense, talk to their coaches, and the coaching staff was telling the offense to Riverdale, you have to do something to get different, to get a different outcome. Do your job. Do what you're coached to do. Control your aggression. Offensive lineman E.J. Oldgene, he had a nosebleed. It was the aggression, the physicality of this game. You can really see it wearing on these players on both sides of the ball. And that's something that is really a big message right now over on the Riverdale sidelines, you guys.
Thanks, Sammy. It is gut check time for a young Riverdale squad as Oakland marches back with a 9-play, 72-yard drive, overcoming multiple penalties. Dante Cameron sprints in from 43 yards. Riverdale Set to see if they're going to have a response. The kick is dropped and then picked up. Trying to bounce it outside and unable to reach the 20 is Elijah Reams. Starting field position has not been a plus for Riverdale tonight, but the offense has ripped off scoring drives of 86 and 80-yard drives. Sophomore quarterback Gavin Hampton has been able to overcome it, but just a tall task to continue to ask him to do that against this defense.
Yeah, to cover all this ground, you have to imagine Riverdale will only have 2 more options with the football, and who knows how much the second time they'll even have on the clock. They do still have 2 timeouts, but you have to feel the pressure and the sense of urgency.
All spread out are the Riverdale Warriors. Play action to Vaughn. Dangerous throw is tipped and incomplete. Craig Tutt lurking out of the defensive backfield. The future Ole Miss Rebel breaks it up.
Take a look at Tutt, and it was almost the stop of the game for Oakland. Just gets a hand on it right there. I can't tell if he's happy or frustrated.
That is 4-star athleticism from Greg Tutt. 2nd and 10. Airing it out. Hampton looking for Reynolds. Incomplete and out of bounds. Will bring up 3rd and 10.
Maybe got away with a little contact, but it is a physical football game. Ball also uncatchable. Good call, Lucas, my signal caller.
I was doing the hand over head motion in the booth for those who obviously can't see us up here. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan, hanging out with you. Sammy Kincaid downstairs for what has turned into a thriller in the Battle of the Borough. Closing out the regular season. A Thursday night edition of the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. 3rd and 10. Hampton will screen it out to Vaughn. Has room to run. Jacob Vaughn across the 40 and out of bounds. Big chunk play. But there is a flag. A flag down behind the run.
Nothing we see on our screen that would indicate a flag. It must have happened far away.
We're walking it back here.
Maybe an ineligible man downfield, but it would be in the backfield.
Here in the run, we got an ineligible receiver downfield on the offense, number 60. That's a 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd.
I'm sorry, Lucas. I thought if the ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage, it can't be downfield. So let's take
here.
Yeah, let's take a look at the original line of scrimmage. That's right there on the 15-yard line.
Dakari King, number 60, the center, that was ahead of the play. Tough blow for this Riverdale offense.
Absolutely.
Now facing the 3rd and 20. Hampton guns it over the middle. It's caught across the 40 and down. They pick it up anyway. Braylon Burns. Gun check moment for Gavin Hampton, and the sophomore quarterback slings it down the field for a gain of 33.
Comes out of Hampton's hand so easy too. It looks like a flick of the wrist. That's like I don't want to overdo it a little bit. That's the way Aaron Rodgers throws the football. It's just a little flick of the wrist, and it just comes out powerful. Braylon Burns, who had a big score for Riverdale, now getting a big 3rd down conversion.
It's throws like that that are the reason why Gavin Hampton's getting the attention he's getting. Will Kreisky telling us this week, Georgia offensive coordinator Mike Bobo made a stop earlier this week on his way to visit a pretty big name down the road in Jared Curtis. There's a dump down to Vaughn, and he's out of bounds near the marker. Forced out by Marquise Earl. And we've talked so much about this Oakland defense, allowing less than 4 points per game, allowing 6 second-half points all season. What is Riverdale doing offensively to find so much space in the open field?
Maybe it's just the way Oakland's playing their defense, too. I mean, they want to avoid the big shots, so they're just stepping a little bit back, and it's giving too much space for guys like Vaughn.
Tumbles over for the 1st down pickup. Vaughn, 56 yards on 14 carries. Which doesn't sound like a massive number in the fourth quarter, but it is when you're facing a defense that has allowed less than 39 rush yards per game this season. First and 10 in Oakland territory. Hampton going back over the middle, has Riley Talley. He's slung down by Wyatt, but it's another first down throw for the young Gavin Hampton, 20 yards. And they move deeper into Oakland territory.
Man, it looked like Talley was wide open. You can see Tut was on the softer side of the coverage, playing over the top, and it looks like Oakland's more in a prevent style right now, and Hampton just has free pickings across the middle.
That's Talley's 5th catch of the game. On the 27 of Oakland, Gavin Hampton trying to close out a long drive for Riverdale. Dangerous ball over the middle. Incomplete. Joel Wyatt had a great look at it.
Tut and Wyatt, two of our biggest recruits in the state of Tennessee, both touching a football in this important defensive drive, and both just barely not coming down with it. It literally sticks. It get more of a sticky glove. It might come down with that one.
How about the vertical from Joel Wyatt?
Yeah, he was floating. That's you wonder why Tennessee wants him so bad. He was floating in the air there.
Was playing at Webb School, who dropped its football program and just happened to be zoned for Oakland.
Wow, what a coincidence for Oakland.
So here he is. Vaughn gets the carry up the middle and has nowhere to go. That time hammered by Devon McGee. And there's a flag at the opposite end of the field. Keith Dyer and his crew having a busy night.
Play. Yep. Personal foul number 77 on the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Personal fouls airing more on the side of the Riverdale team. That was on Eli Clark, the offensive lineman and senior on this important drive.
Take a look here at the top of your screen.
Yeah, we can see him on the left side, blocking through the whistle, throws him out of the club a little. You obviously know I'm not going to agree with that, so.
Throws him out of the club, something the kids are saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what I was saying back in the day.
3rd and 25. Gavin Hampton checks it down. Vaughn can't hang on. Lets it go before Wyatt came in. Might have heard footsteps. And just like that, Riverdale goes from knocking on the door of the red zone to facing a 4th and 25 on the Oakland 41. As you look at the night Gavin Hampton has had, the sophomore rising to the occasion so far, but he'll have to walk off the field as Riverdale will be forced to try and pin Oakland deep here.
And really, the game comes into Oakland's hands. They can run what's called the 4-minute offense, a few first downs, get the Riverdale timeouts out, and at the very least give them very, very little time to operate what would be a tying score.
Miles Weaver will boot it away. Tut is back deep, lets it bounce, and it's nice work by Weaver to pin Oakland inside its own 15. So the defending 6A state champs get it back, trying to see out a touchdown lead at home. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the regular season at Oakland High School, where the Patriots have the ball back with a 28-21 lead. And no matter what happens here, Oakland will win Region 3 6A as Blackman has gone final, 35-7 over Rockvale. So Oakland essentially secures the region title and the 1 seed heading into the playoffs. Riverdale will be locked in at the 3. But all of that aside, the 60th edition of the Battle of the Borough is still on the line between these two arch rivals. And Oakland, after forcing a punt, will go with the quarterback run, Cam Morton. Check that, Dante Cameron, the junior, getting that snap, and he will now exit for Morton. The freshman, we've talked about the Riverdale freshman, Luke Tritch, a receiver. Oakland also a program that does not play ninth graders. And for Cam Morton to essentially force the issue as a freshman at the quarterback position is an impressive thing.
Yeah, as a quarterback at this level of high school football, that's essentially unheard of. I mean, so keep an eye out for this young man and his career going forward. I have to imagine his upperclassmen years will have a lot to be special with.
Climbing over the pile is Tutt. And Oakland now is in clock milking mode. A couple of first downs could ice this thing away. Riverdale with 2 timeouts. So a huge third down upcoming here. Kevin Creasy, legendary run, 11 years, 5 state titles as head coach and offensive play caller for the Oakland Patriots. 3rd and 3. Cameron, quarterback keeper, swallowed up by the pile and pushed backwards. Riverdale comes up with the stop. And down after the play is Cameron. The junior QB, and the way he's being stretched out is almost a relief. Looking like a cramping issue.
I took a deep breath. So eventually, at first glance, it looked like he was holding his knee, and my jaw was on the ground, just heartbroken. And then I saw it shift to the calf, and I was like, that's a good sign. And then, eventually the stretch. We can see right here just too much color, and a good job of closing down the gaps of that power play by the Riverdale edges.
I did see his foot plant very awkwardly there, but this is a great sign. Cameron will try and walk it off. Junior quarterback who had an electric 43-yard touchdown run to make it a 28-21 Oakland lead. Really, it's been back and forth the whole way. The Patriots punched first with the kickoff return touchdown on the opening kick by Giovanni Malone, and from there it has been a swinging pendulum of momentum. And Riverdale looks like we'll have to come up with another stop. 4th and 2. Oakland is going for it on their own 19-yard line. Will they snap it here? Morton, the freshman, under center. 15 on the play clock. Down to 5 on the play clock. And Oakland will take this thing down and call a timeout.
It was a smart idea, trying to see if you can get a freebie. And you don't need that timeout, considering Riverdale this will be the drive for the game coming up. So
the clock stops at 1:51 to play. Riverdale will force the punt and get it back with a chance at a 2-minute drill to tie or win the game if they can get in the end zone. So now it becomes the onus on the defense. For Oakland, a defense that we've talked about all night, that has allowed 6 points in the second half through 9 games until tonight, which Riverdale has surpassed with only 1 touchdown. And this is why you sign up for games like this. Battle of the Borough, 60th edition. A chance to finish out the regular season on a good note. Unbeaten record on the line for Oakland. And a 2-minute drill to decide it.
Take a look at Hampton right there, ready to lead his team to a tying score with a chance to go for two, maybe if you want to go for the win, as most road teams do and underdogs do in a situation like this. Riverdale will start off with good field position after this punt down the favorable bounce.
Riverdale has already forced more than Oakland has allowed all year. Now, the offense is back out on the field for Oakland here. Craig Tutt in the gun, and they're going to go on 4th and 2. Tutt trying to get the edge. Tutt across the 20. Tutt off and running down the sideline into Riverdale territory. And down. What a gutsy call and a run by Craig Tutt. And the Ole Miss commit sprints 33 yards in what could be a game clincher for the Patriots.
I can't believe they went for that. They took, the trope where the underdog goes for the risky play. They said, hey, we're the home team, we're winning, and we're the favorite. We're going to do this risky play from our own side, deep in our own territory, and it pays off for them. They know the athletes they have, especially right there with that man, Craig Tutt. Could be maybe a play of the game, could be a player of the game.
Riverdale still has its 2 timeouts. Tutt will take it out of the Wildcat again. He gets swallowed up after gaining half a yard, so Riverdale will take its 2nd timeout of the half. Stop the clock with 1:13 remaining, and now Craig Tutt is down. Down and in pain, Oakland trainers will come out. This is exactly what you hate to see, especially going into the playoffs, senior season for Craig Tutt. He has had a huge game, 13 carries, 75 yards and a touchdown. Some critical PBUs on defense. Look at Craig Tutt, very communicative down on the field with Oakland trainers and head coach Kevin Creasy. Both teams will bring it in on the sideline and talk about what's next on a 2nd and 9. Riverdale with only 1 timeout remaining, so you can get a stop here, call a timeout, and then get the ball back with seconds remaining if Riverdale can come up with 2 stops, and Tutt will be helped off. Wishing nothing but the best for that young man. As Oakland moves into the playoffs, and he will move towards a very promising college football career in the SEC whenever his season comes to an end.
You just hate to see that, and at this point in the game, it just came up with such a big play too, and essentially riding it out at this point. Tutt, who never comes off the field, offense, defense, or special teams.
Such an impact player. And he will go into the medical tent here at Oakland High School. So Cam Morton, the freshman, comes out on 2nd and 9 under center. Justice Haggard with the carry, and he's hit down immediately. Riverdale looks like will hold their final timeout, and now they'll take it. And that stops the clock with 59 seconds remaining.
They did that with their last timeout too. They lost about 4 seconds after the play, and I mean that time matters, but I think that's kind of where the headspace is at for both of these teams right now.
So Riverdale could get a stop here, get it back with less than 30 seconds, and need a miracle. Do you expect Oakland to go conservative here after going forward on 4th and 2 inside their own 20?
This part is 1,000% going to be conservative right here, right? You're going to be able to pin them in their own territory with maybe 15 seconds to get a playoff, if that, right? So you have to imagine, can he throw the ball 80 yards? That's something I would take a gamble on if I were this Oakland staff.
Kevin Creasy with parting message to his team before this 3rd down. You got to think Craig Tutt being looked at on the sideline won't be on the field in all likelihood if Riverdale is to get this ball back. Could change the dynamic here, depending on where Riverdale gets the football and with how much time remaining. 59 seconds left. On 3rd and 9. Left guard Trent Gibbs, the freshman, comes off, another freshman to play for Oakland this season. His uniform wasn't quite correct with the pants, so he's replaced by senior Million Redding for a 3rd and 9. Morton checks it down. Haggard takes off. Oakland secures the win, but Haggard wants more down the sideline. Justice Haggard runs it in. The Patriots clinch the game in style with a catch and run, 46 yards for Justice Haggard. They put the ball in the air, and it pays off. A South College touchdown, and the Patriots look like they're going to finish the season 10-0 for the 5th time in the Kevin Creasy era.
And I know what some people might be thinking. He should slide. Well, the game essentially gets put away now. There is a small chance if Riverdale can score, onside kick score, right, that they have a chance to bring it back. But at this point in the game, at this level of football, I don't blame him for anything. I really don't.
And for Haggard, that is his 12th total touchdown of the season. He leads all skill players here at Oakland High School, a player that will have his pick of Arkansas State, Memphis, Tennessee State also vying for his services. Just everywhere you look, there's an Oakland playmaker that can break a 46-yard touchdown. And there is a very real chance that these two teams can meet again, Bruno, in the semifinals of the 6A playoffs.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen different results. We've seen Riverdale beat Oakland in the regular season, go out in the postseason. It was a much different game in that time. So both these teams, and they'll have a lot of film on each other at that point.
So Jose Hernandez will have to kick it off with 46.6 seconds remaining. Riverdale out of timeouts. A 6-game winning streak threatening to end here for the Warriors, who, no matter what happens, will finish as the 3 seed out of Region 3 6A, which will put them on the road in the postseason. Picking it up on the bounce is Zayden Jones, and he is rolled down across the 30. Let's take a look at our play of the game, brought to you by the Tennessee Army National Guard. 4th and 2 inside their own 20, less than 2 minutes remaining, and what does Oakland do? Put it in the hands of one of their best playmakers, Craig Tutt, getting the edge and essentially sealing the victory.
Our player to watch coming in gets our play of the game, Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game. And what a risque call, but that's the trust they have in this young man in Tutt. The Ole Miss commit will be eventually playing in the SEC.
So Riverdale back out on offense on their own 16 after a penalty that came down at the end of Zayden Jones' kickoff return. With 39 seconds left, they check it down to Talley, who does sprint out of bounds. So if you're Riverdale, you need a touchdown, an onside kick, and another touchdown in the span of about 30 seconds.
virtually impossible at this point of the game. To be quite frank, I don't want to sit up here and say, well, in the technicalities, this is the tallest task to ask. You get to 50, throw it up, get an onside kick, and maybe have a Hail Mary at that point. Never happened.
Hampton, the sophomore, dodges pressure and hauls it deep. Jump ball, and coming out with it are the Oakland Patriots. Intercepted by Nehemiah Wade. And it'll give Oakland the chance to come out and end this thing in victory formation. A prayer to midfield from Hampton, who's had such a gutsy night. But Wade forces yet another interception this season for the Oakland defense.
Wade, senior, basically the last defensive snap of his high school regular season career, capping it off with a pick in a huge rivalry game.
The first interception of his senior season, the defensive end, Nehemiah Wade. Just shows the athleticism across the board for these Oakland defenders. Cameron takes a knee against his former team. And Oakland are winners tonight, 35-21. The Patriots finished the regular season 10-0, Region 3 6A champs, and win a fourth straight Battle of the Borough here at Ray Hughes Stadium. Take a look at our stop of the game, and it's going to go to the Riverdale side, and a play that showed us this game was not going to be another routine blowout for the Oakland Patriots.
This is the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
And it's the extra point block. Oakland scoring to go up 13-7, and sprawling out was Zayden Jones to keep it a 6-point lead at the end of the first.
Absolutely. This was a huge play that could have had implications at the end of the game. Obviously didn't swing that way, but at the time, this was such an impressive stop.
Is the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
So Oakland gets the job done, 35-21, the final score in the Battle of the Borough. And we'll hear from the victorious Patriots when we come back on MyTV 30. Oakland outscores Riverdale 22-7 in the second half to take the Battle of the Borough and finish the regular season undefeated. As we take a look at our player of the game presented by UA Local 572, UA Local 572, the premier trainer of workers in all aspects of the piping, plumbing, welding, and HVAC industry. Many to choose from, but it's Dante Cameron, the junior quarterback, against his former squad. 2 touchdowns, 1 in the air, 1 on the ground, including the 43-yarder that gave Oakland a fourth-quarter lead that they would not relinquish on their way to a win and a perfect regular season.
Yeah, that 43-yard rush, that was the kind of the cherry on top of a performance from Oakland, a dominant and resilient performance at sometimes too, and that was led by Cameron, who is the senior of the 2-quarterback system.
There you see the run that put Oakland ahead, scampering off down the sideline, making men miss, and Dante Cameron. And the Oakland Patriots finished perfect in 2025 with a playoff run to come. And like we said, these two could very well meet in the TSSAA playoffs. And they certainly have in recent finishes in the last 2 years in the quarterfinal. But let's go downstairs to Sammy Kincaid and the Oakland Patriots.
Coach, exactly. What about that ball game? The tenacity and grit of this team. What can you say about them to be able to get it done in the
Well, I think they come from a pretty good bloodline, I think. They got to see our seniors come from behind all year long, and so they're made out of the right stuff. That's the kind of guys that we can go, to battle with. And we love playing 4-quarter ball games, and we hadn't done it in a while. And give Riverdale credit. They gave us all that we wanted, but in the fourth quarter, we won.
Yes, called the Battle of the Borough for a reason, and with the win tonight, you're first in the region. I don't think I got to tell you that. You probably know that.
Yeah.
And winning is not something that's unique to you guys. How long do you celebrate this one?
Oh, yeah. We're going to, normally we celebrate for about 3 or 4 hours. It may be a day or two, okay? We're going to playing on Thursday night makes that happen, and we got to figure out who we play in the playoffs. But right now we're going to celebrate beating our biggest rival.
Well, congratulations, Coach. Celebrate with your team.
The Oakland Patriots 10-0 and region champs after a 35-21 win over the Riverdale Warriors. And on to the playoffs for both squads, and both have plenty enough to make a run. And we are looking forward to that and hope you'll join us on MyTV 30 Sports in 2 weeks. Friday, November 14th, we will hit round 2 of the TSSAA playoffs. Our coverage begins at 7 p.m. Again, 2 weeks from tomorrow, right here on MyTV 30 Sports. Stay tuned for matchup information. In the meantime, all of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, UA Local 572, and Sonic, who, through their contributions to the program, make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our 2025 Friday Night Rivals telecasts. The United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, Bart Durham Injury Law, South College, Wilson Bank and Trust, Western Kentucky University, Greenway Kia, Josh Houston and Associates, and NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. And we would especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support. Riverdale High School and our host, Oakland High School. From our partner Bruno Reagan, Sammy Kincaid down on the field, and our entire fantastic crew, I'm Lucas Panzica saying good night. We'll see you in the playoffs. The final score in the Battle of the Borough, Oakland 35, Riverdale 21.